everybody. I'm Cristina Londoño, Senior Washington, D.C. Correspondent for Noticias Telemundo. I'm so happy to be with you today at the Hill Latina Leaders Summit and to welcome Georgiana Ocasio, Senior Director of Corporate and External Affairs at NBC Universal Telemundo Enterprises. Georgiana.
Thank you, Christina, so much. It's a privilege to be here at the Latina Leaders Summit. We know that the conversations we're going to be having here today are so critical to raise awareness about the roles that Latinas play at home, in their communities, and in society. Telemundo has been a long-time supporter and proud supporter of this event, and we think it's more important than ever to shine a light, promote, and highlight the stories of those Latinas that are pushing their communities and society forward.
You're right, Jordan, and today we have the honor of talking about the findings of a new pulse survey conducted this past month and to learn about the state of our Latina community and what's on their mind. So let's dive right in. What are some of the main issues concerning Latinas right now?
Well, that's right. With the world changing so much, so much uncertainty on so many levels, we always think it's important to check in with our community and see how they're feeling at certain points in time and what's on their mind. Right now, not surprisingly, around 69% of the Latinas are concerned with inflation and being able to meet ends meet with, covering basic needs such as education, rent, and food. Another big concern for many Latinas, about a third are concerned about gun violence and about being in unsafe communities, and about another quarter are concerned with the rising cost of healthcare. So again, another topic that is touching their pockets.
So breaking it down a little bit, let's talk about the inflation. They are concerned about inflation. Everything is a lot more expensive. We're making the same amount of money. So how are Latinas feeling about the economy in general?
Well, time and time again, we see that Latinas, despite the challenges that they may face, we're still an optimistic group, and this time was not the exception. We still see a third of Latinas feel optimistic about the general outlook of the economy, and a vast majority of them feeling confident in their ability to secure a job within the next 6 months. So that's the good news, right? And we still see that of the Latinas that are working, they're not satisfied. They want more. And that's something that really jumped out in this last survey. 81% of the Latinas that are working say that they're not satisfied with the pace of growth of their careers. Another 72% are asking for more opportunities for themselves and for the Latinas around them.
Well, this is clearly a community that wants to get better, wants to move ahead, and is not satisfied with the status quo. What do those statistics tell you? How do you analyze them?
Well, we see this as a clear opportunity for companies to invest in Latinas, to invest in those programs that can help them advance their careers, those mentorship, sponsorship, continued education programs that can give them the jump they need to accelerate and reach decision-making positions. So we find that if you're able to offer and invest strategically and authentically in any of these programs, Latinas will see this as a signal of caring for them. And that's what they're looking for in companies and brands in general.
So at Telemundo, what initiatives do we have to meet these needs of Latinas?
Well, I'll start off by saying that at Telemundo, we're proud to say that 64% of executive positions are held by women. And within the Noticias Telemundo family, Cristina, I know you'll find this of interest and close to heart, 100% of the executive team are women. And I think we're the only national news network that can say that. And that makes us very proud. But of course, this isn't magic. It doesn't happen overnight. We've been working on this consciously for a long time. First of all, we have our program Mujeres Imparables, which is our corporate social responsibility dedicated to advancing the topic of Latinas and elevating their stories, offering them resources, statistics to highlight and make them feel confident in their ability and what they can contribute to our society. We help them be seen and be heard, and that's the big part of it. Aside from that, internally, through our human resources department, we invest a lot in the training and the mentorship that can give Latinas the exposure they need to grow here in the company. We have a program with the University of Miami School of Business. It's called the Unstoppable Women Leadership Course. There we allow our employees to have courses on negotiation, personal branding, conflict resolution, having those difficult conversations that you need to have sometimes, how to manage the relationship with your manager. So all of this contributes, of course, to giving the Latinas within our company the opportunity to grow. Besides that, we have our employee resource groups, the Women's Network, which also gives people an opportunity to see other female executives around them and learn and show them the ropes how to make the way up. So all of this comes together and allows us to contribute to those big numbers.
Well, I can tell you this as a Latina journalist with 30 years of experience, I have witnessed those changes. I have seen the women grow, and I love having all these jefas around me now. Was there anything else that stood out to you from the survey?
Yes, the fact that Latinas like to support Latinas. About 64% of Latinas want to see more of us represented in the media, not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera, creating the content that they see. And of course, given the business that we're in, that's music to our ears.
And I think that's crucial, that we're helping each other on the way up instead of competing. Speaking of that, exactly, I believe today marks an important milestone that we're all really looking forward to.
That's right. Today marks exactly 1 year out to the FIFA Women's World Cup, which will be celebrating next year in New Zealand and Australia. And it's all about soccer around here these days, because as you know, before that, we have the Men's World Cup, which kicks off in Qatar this November. But of course, Latinas are still a part of this conversation because, you know, we're everywhere. And we see that Latina fandom in this sport has grown exponentially in the United States. We see how Latinas use this to bring their families together and making it a watching event with friends and family. And of course, we're going to have more information on this and other statistics related to Latino fandom in another study that's coming out later this summer. So watch out for that.
And also we have to point out that the U.S. Women's soccer team is now going to be paid as much as the men. So Latinas and all women around the country are a lot more enthusiastic about these World Cups, both the men's and the women's. We're looking forward to this. Thank you for being here at the Hill Latina Leaders Summit. And Georgiana Ocasio, it's been a pleasure sharing the space with you.
Thank you so much, Christina. And please follow Mujeres Imparables on all the platforms that you'll see here on screen.
Que nada te detenga, mujeres imparables.